Any new device that can help locate mineral deposits cheaply is welcomed by the mining industry. Dr. David Thiel, a radiophysicist at Griffith University, developed TSIM, the Thiel Surface Impedance Meter. It uses very low-frequency radio waves of the type emitted by the American Communications Base at Northwest Cape and other stations around the world. Prospecting using other tools such as sound and pressure waves has one major problem. The waves spread out in all directions like ripples on a pond. When they get to a boundary between two layers, they're sent in several directions, which makes the signal confused. Radio waves, however, no matter how they strike the Earth, always go straight down. So when they hit a boundary, the wave is split only two ways, up and down. Under this stretch of open ground lies the Mooney oil pipeline. It makes no difference to the meter whether the pipeline is of concrete or steel construction. The task of locating the pipeline is basically similar to detecting underground characteristics in mineral prospecting. The process involves plotting a series of points across the path of the pipeline, taking 3 independent measurements. This test demonstrates how simply TSIM can monitor a subterranean coal seam for a fault, and that's good news for mining companies. At the Callide mine site in Queensland, Dr. Thiel found that the meter could pick up fault lines in non-metallic deposits such as coal. Knowing where the fault lines are helps miners dig in the right place and also calculate how much coal there is to dig.
And this is a much improved technique compared to, say, drilling, which is not only expensive but fails to find a vertical fault. So if you have a discontinuity in the seam like that, you drill through one way and you intercept the seam. You drill through the other way, you intercept the seam, but you still don't know about what happens in between those 2 points. And so the surface impedance meter can give you an exact location on the fault.
Next to the cliff, you don't need a meter to tell you where the faults are. You can see them. What the miners want to know is which way the faults are going, so they can plan their mining accordingly. The meter was able to pick up the fault lines 40 metres under the surface. Another traverse some distance away showed a smaller response, but here the depth to coal was much greater. Just one bad open-cut blast can ruin 30 tonnes of coal. This is equivalent in value to 1 Thiel surface impedance meter. Many people want to know what lies underground. Farmers may want to know the depth of topsoil, miners to locate ore deposits such as coal, and Antarctic researchers need data on the depth and profile of ice flows. Dr. David Thiel, a radiophysicist at Griffith University, has developed TSIM, the Thiel Surface Impedance Meter. The meter uses radio waves to map what lies underground. Very low frequency, or VLF radio waves transmitted by the American Communications Base at Northwest Cape have a very long wavelength which travels well through air, water and the earth.
The signal from Northwest Cape propagates around the world. To use the surface impedance meter, you need to be, say, within 10,000 kilometres of the base. But there are VLF transmitters that are located worldwide, so there's no place on the Earth where you are without a signal to use.
The meter was investigated by Karina Kelly of ABC TV's Quantum.
Well, the first thing you have to do with the instrument is align it with Northwest Cape. And the way you do that is to use the magnetic sensor up here. So we switch it on and look at the magnetic field strength.
Once aligned, the machine is switched over to measure the electric field. And to do this, it needs a long aerial trailing out behind it. This is the measurement which tells you what lies underground. The third reading is the phase, and it gives some idea of depth.
Well, this is the first reading, and you can see that the phase is around 40 degrees and the amplitude's around 28 degrees. Okay, move on a little.
What we found was that the first few readings we took were all pretty much the same.
And you can see that it's about the same. Nothing too much has changed here.
But at one point, the measurements dropped dramatically.
But now the phase has dropped by almost 10 degrees, and the amplitude also dropped similarly. So somewhere
What the
around
surface
here,
impedance meter was picking up was a large metallic oil pipeline which ran under the park.
Prospecting using other tools such as sound and pressure waves has one major problem. The waves spread out in all directions like ripples on a pond. When they get to a boundary between two layers, they're sent in several directions, which makes the signal confused. Radio waves, however, no matter how they strike the earth, always go straight down. So when they hit a boundary, the wave is split only two ways, up and down. Further research by Dr. Thiel is being supported by several mining companies, which are very keen to test prototypes of TSIM in their mining operations.
Griffith University, which was established in 1971, has in recent years been one of Australia's fastest growing universities. We occupy a beautiful forest setting in the southern areas of Brisbane, and we have from...
As well as being an innovative centre of undergraduate education, Griffith University offers research and consultancy services to the public and private sectors and collaborates with industry and government.
But is important because of the way it links up with others.
In a typical project, Dr. David Thiel has developed TSIM, the Thiel Surface Impedance Meter.
Well, we have many projects in the Division of Science and Technology involving active cooperation with industry. A particular example I would mention is the TSIM project, which has attracted a great deal of interest and attention from mining companies in general and coal mining companies in particular.
Well, the industry places a very strong emphasis on research, and there's...
Peter Goscombe, one of the most senior and well-respected coal geologists in Australia, was instrumental in the establishment of open-cut coalfields in Queensland.
The prediction of faults and igneous intrusions is a geological mapping exercise, and I guess being a geologist by profession, I've been particularly interested in the development of this instrument.
The next stage was to develop a commercial prototype of TSIM.
Energy Control International sees the direct benefits from TSIM and general university research as bring to the fore some of the products which would normally be left in the dark, products that in the past have had to go overseas to be brought to a commercial application.
We have trialled Dr. Thiel's experimental prototype at some of our central Queensland coal mines, and we found it to be superior to all of the other techniques that are available to us.
The market prospects look very, very good. We've done some market research. We have some good contacts in the mining industry in particular, and they're very keen to see the prototype units out in the field and under test.